Welcome back to another episode of Grizzly True Crime. My name is Gisela K, and today we're going to be looking at somewhat of a legal timeline in the DELPHI case. As we know, I hope you know, recently a man named Richard M. Allen was arrested and charged with 2 counts of murder. There's a specific code that goes with those charges, and we have done a deep dive on that. So if you missed that video, I am going to link it in the pinned comments for you as well as in the description box, so you can find it really easily just to try to understand. Remember, I'm not a lawyer, but by looking at the code and looking at the wording, maybe it helps you understand exactly what charges he's facing. Of course, as we know, the probable cause affidavit is still sealed. We are going to go over that in this presentation and what that could mean. I have also done an extensive video on why, it was actually in my last live stream, why the probable cause affidavit is sealed. We read through an extensive article that Law and Crime Network provided, so check that out as well. I will link that below for you as well in case you missed it. Just go to the timestamps in that live stream and you will see exactly where we talked about it. I've also linked the source there for you in case you just want to read it for yourself. So before I get into this legal timeline, I must say that Richard Allen is of course innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. So with patience, that's what we need right now, is patience. We wait to see the natural course of this legal process to take place so that there will be justice for Abby and Libby. So let's have a look at this. Richard Allen's home was searched on October 13th, 2022 for 12 hours. Remember, the murders took place on February 13th, 2017. So it's been a really long time where many wondered, will there ever be an arrest in this case? Will they ever actually catch Bridge Guy? Now, for those of you who are set on the fact that this guy isn't Bridge Guy, just remember that the family and law enforcement are referring to him as Bridge Guy, which is why I'm referring to him as Bridge Guy. Of course, we do not yet know if there's anyone else involved in this case. We do not know if he acted alone or not. But with law enforcement, especially Superintendent Doug Carter, calling him Bridge Guy, in my opinion, they've caught Bridge Guy, but we're yet to see exactly what the details are of this case. Doug Carter said he can't wait to tell us all the story. And I must say, I can't wait to hear the story. And while not pressuring anyone to unseal that probable cause affidavit, of course, just like you, I'm extremely curious of what's in there. What do they have on this guy? To search his house after 5 years and 8 months, to find stuff in the fire pit, in the shed, maybe even in the flower beds, in the garden, and then take it away and 13 days later to arrest him and charge him with 2 counts of murder. They must really have something on him, and we have no idea what it is or who tipped the police off. Was it his wife? Was it his mother? Was it someone that knew him? Like, what was it really? Was it because he stole tools from a neighbor's shed? That's another story that's gone around. I don't know. We're yet to see. And once we have that document, oh, you're going to know. I'm going to read every single line on every single page, depending, of course, how long it is. If it's 1,000 pages, we're going to have to do multiple episodes, but I don't think it will be. It will be a few pages that we can work through once we get our hands on that document. But we must be patient because we want justice for Abby and Libby, and we do not want anything to ruin that. So let's quickly have a look at this. Richard Allen's home, right, was searched on October 13th, 2022 for 12 hours. Law enforcement looked in the flower bed, in the shed, and in a fire pit. They were seen carrying out a shoebox, dark cloth, a stack of thin books, as a typo, or think books. I don't think he had think books. I think he had thin books, and a Macy's bag. We have no idea what was in it or, what they tested and what they found. He was detained at the Carroll County Jail on October 26th and then officially arrested on October 28th, 2022, 13 days after the search of his home. So the detained was 13 days after the search of his home, right? So they definitely found something to draw up that probable cause affidavit to know that this is the guy that they believe is Bridge Guy. This is the guy that they believe committed the murders of Abby and Libby. The probable cause affidavit was sealed at the prosecutor's request, Nicholas McClelland, who we saw at the press conference as well. He pleaded not guilty. He was apparently wearing protective gear on that day already. he was not in the presence of a lawyer, and he said that he would be seeking his own private legal counsel. On October 28, 2022, he was transferred to the White County Jail, where he was held without bond. On Monday, October 31st, the Indiana State Police held a press conference to announce the arrest of Richard M. Allen in connection with the Delphi murders. We were here for it live, and then I also uploaded a sniffle-free version of the press conference if that bugged you. I know for some people, with Doug Carter being overly emotional and sniffing a lot, it bugged some people. Didn't bug me too much, but I did make that available if it did bug you. I went and edited out every single sniffle so you can listen to it without those interruptions. So there, they were saying, and today is the day. And then Doug Carter said, well, actually, last Friday was the day we arrested a man that we believe committed these murders. As I say, the public wants to know, why do they believe it? You know who else wants to know? Richard Allen. Because the probable cause affidavit is sealed and he has no legal counsel, it would mean that he hasn't even seen it himself. So let's get into that. So the way that legal professionals are wording it is that the clock is ticking on his constitutional rights. On November 2nd, Sheriff Tobe Lesenby requested for Richard Allen to be transferred to a more secure state facility. On November 3rd, Judge Diener granted this request and on the same day recused himself from the case. Richard Allen was transferred to an undisclosed Indiana Department of Corrections state facility where he is segregated from other prisoners for his own safety. How do we know? Because now he's wearing a red jumpsuit. We can see it in his new mugshot, which I'll put a picture up now of that. It's also on my thumbnail. But going from the orange suit to the red suit would signify, and let me get the correct term that I wrote down here, that the red jumpsuits are for restricted housing inmates in the Indiana Department of Corrections. It's also known as protective custody, as well as identifying prisoners in segregation under administrative segregation. Sometimes this could also be for watching him that he doesn't unalive himself. It would also protect him from other prisoners. We know how it goes when people commit crimes against children. It does not go well for them in prison. And it could also be that he is a danger to others. It's probably a combination of all of those things, but yes, at the moment he is segregated from other prisoners in an undisclosed location. Richard Allen has until November 17th, which is right around the corner, 2022, to inform the court about the status of hiring his own attorney. There's a hearing on November 22nd, 2022, where the judge will decide whether it will remain sealed, it being the probable cause affidavit. With no legal counsel, and the affidavit being sealed, Richard Allen has likely not seen the document himself. There was an attorney on WTHR that said there are no circumstances under which he may not know why he has been arrested, which is why they say the clock is ticking on his constitutional rights. The circumstances are extremely rare. As soon as this week, Judge Fran Gold, the new judge in the case that's been assigned to the case since Judge Diener recused himself, may hold a hearing to ensure that Richard Allen is assigned with a public defender to protect his constitutional rights in this case. I am recording this video on November 8th, 2022, and I hope that my next video will have positive news that Richard Allen, who is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, will have legal counsel and that his constitutional rights will be protected to ensure a safe and fair trial. Please use the hashtag Justice for Abby and Libby if you are sharing this video. I'd really appreciate it if you did like and share the video. Hashtag DELPHI, hashtag Justice for Abby and Libby. And if you have any information that could help to solve this case, or if you have any information on Richard Allen and your experience with him, if you live in the Delphi area, maybe he traveled, maybe you have an experience with him from travels. I don't know. If you have anything on him, please contact Abby and Libby Tip at cacoshrf.com. The tip line is also still open, 765-822-3535. And then there's the FBI line as well, 844-459-5786. So just to recap all the dates that I just shared, on October 13th, his home was searched. On October 26th, he was detained at the Carroll County Jail. On October 28th, he was officially arrested and charged with 2 counts of murder and transferred to the White County Jail. Then, on November 3rd, he was transferred to a state facility. November 17th is the deadline for him to tell the court if he has a lawyer or not. If not, of course, they're going to assign him with a public defender. On November 22nd, there will be a hearing to decide if the probable cause affidavit will remain sealed or not. And on November 26th, there's a deadline to request a change of venue. So by November 17th, he needs to either say that he has a lawyer or they're going to assign him with a public defender. And then that public defender, if so, or the lawyer that he finds, will have about a week or so to request a change of venue. Of course, with the trial also set to start in March, so March 20th, 2023, that would be a speedy trial. I think it goes under that banner. I've heard every lawyer on YouTube talk about this case say that they don't think that the trial will happen at the time. It's probably going to be shifted a lot. So we need to practice a lot of patience. I can't imagine, based on everything that they've shared, that it's like on March 20th, 2023, it already starts and everything, because whoever his legal team will be, they have so much work to do, so much to prepare for this trial. I hope that you found this video helpful. Please check out the 2 videos I referred to at the beginning, the one where we went over the exact code for Richard Allen's charges, as well as Kegan Klein's 5 charges that are being dropped. Oh, and before I go, I mustn't forget to tell you that we mustn't get our hopes up that this trial will be televised. According to the Indiana State Judicial Circuit Law, Rule 2.17, court proceedings may not be televised. So I was digging a little bit into that because I was wondering, will it be televised? Will we be able to watch this whole trial? And then I found that, and I saw a recent video on WTHR where a legal professional explains that as well. So I'm going to link that below as well for you if you want to check that out. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed today's video. If you did, and you like the way that I present true crime, please hit the thumbs up. And if you wouldn't mind sharing this to Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, wherever you can, that would be very helpful as well. Hashtag DELPHI, hashtag Justice for Abby and Libby. If you haven't yet subscribed, please subscribe so that you become part of our wonderful Grizzly community. Thank you so much to all the Grizzlies who have already subscribed, who are OGs, who've been here from the start. I really, really appreciate it. Welcome to all the new Grizzlies as well. And I look forward to the winter months ahead, depending on where you are in the world. For us now in the Northern Hemisphere, of course, it's the winter months ahead. I look forward to that with you. And there's a lot of upcoming trials and court dates and hearings in many cases, so I've diarized all of that and I'll keep you guys posted. See you again very soon. Stay safe.
It's just a big relief, really is.
For many people in Delphi, like Dan Aldridge, a weight has been lifted.
I'm just glad that they have someone to, kind of hold accountable.
Valerie Latino watched on her cell phone Monday as authorities named Richard Allen in the murders of Abby Williams and Libby German, a crime that rocked this community to its core.
I was nervous to go to trails alone. I have a daughter who is around the same age. I was nervous for her to go anywhere. So now that they kind of have someone that they suspect, it's relieving, makes me feel safer.
Lived here and was in the community and ran around like there was nothing going on, And it's kind of a slap to the face.
I don't know, just wonder why it happened,